Hey everybody, I'm Lori Rudiman. Welcome back to Punk Rock HR. This week, it's just me, and it's a quick one because I'm preparing for the launch of my paperback. That's right, Betting on You is getting a second printing in paperback, and they tell me it's an honor. Feels like something I need to go out and sell, and so that's what I'm doing to you today. If you have not purchased your copy of Betting on You, and how could that be? I've seen the numbers. I think everybody I know has a copy, but if you like the book and you want to give it as a gift, it will be out on January 4th, 2022. And if you haven't purchased a copy, you can go into any bookstore across America and get the hardcover or pre-order the paperback on your favorite book platform. Now, I'm here today because as I get ready for this paperback launch, I've been thinking about how whether I sell 1,000 books or 10,000 books or one book, it doesn't really matter because, my cats like me, my husband likes me. All of that is really good. Life is okay at home. The idea that I'm worthy without selling any books is not something that comes easy to me, but it's something that I practice because I fundamentally believe that your work is not your worth. I've been saying that for a long time, and I wanted to unpack that today just really quickly because it seems a little trendy these days to decouple work and worth, but I've been fighting that battle for a long time, and I had boomers and millennials telling me, Rudiman, shut up and sit down. I am my work. I am so passionate about project management and logistics and creative design, blah, blah, blah. This is who I am. This is what I'm all about. And I felt sorry for those individuals, but I was in the minority. I was truly holding on to this idea that your work is not your worth for ages. And finally, the time is here. So what does this mean? Well, you practice telling people who you are, not what you do. I recognize I'm on a podcast about work. I'm talking about my book. But if I were to just meet you at a random pizza joint, I would tell you about my cats and what I did this weekend and the vacations I'm planning and what I'm passionate about in other areas besides my stupid book. So if your work is not your worth, you practice telling people who you are, not what you do. The second way that this manifests in life is that when you ask about people, you ask them about who they are, and you follow up with questions about their passions and hobbies and interests, not their jobs. So again, if I were to meet you at a random pizza joint, I don't really want to know about what you do for a living. I mean, okay, maybe, but I want to know who you love and how you spend your time and what you're doing when you're not working. That's what's most important to me. And finally, when something bad happens at work, for me, maybe I only sell 3 copies of my paperback, your project is delayed, or you don't get funding, or your boss is a jerk, we feel it in an emotionally regulated way. That means knowing our worth is not derived from this one moment in time. It's just a job. And I know when I say that, you're like, it's not just a job, it's my everything. Well, go back to step 1. You practice telling people who you are, not what you do. So if you're a good person, if you're in a partnership, if you're loved by your parents, if you love other people, this thing at work, it's going to bug us, but we'll put it in context in an emotionally regulated way. I'm really pleased to come to you every week and do a podcast about the world of work, but sometimes I want to do a podcast called What Happened, where we go deep into your trauma and try to figure out why you are so upset about your job and not really upset about climate change or racism or sexism. Like you're so worked up about work, but none of the other really important things in this world are bugging you. So that's my dream for 2023, maybe. The podcast called What Happened. But until then, you've just got Punk Rock HR. And I really want you to remember that your work is not your worth. And I also want you to remember that I've got a paperback coming out on January 4th, 2022. Punk Rock HR is produced and edited through RepCap with the help of Michael Thibodeau and Devin McGrath. If you'd like to take a deep dive into the show notes, listen to previous episodes, there's so many good ones. Zach Nunn talks about how your work is not your worth. And I think about Victoria Milian, who did a great episode on the world of Sherm and also on himself and what he does when he's not upset at Sherm. And there's also a recent episode with Vadim Lieberman, who goes deep on what it's like to be a caregiver, which is his primary identity, even though he works at ERE. Well, those episodes can be found at punkrockhr.com. Now, that's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time on Punk Rock HR.